Good morning, students of class 9. This is the third video of chapter 3. Now I am explaining initializing a variable. How to initialize a variable. What our book is telling. First, when you declare a variable, it may contain garbage values. Okay. When the first time we create a variable, okay, declare a variable, okay, for example int a, then it may contain garbage values. Okay, it may take garbage value as a result of, if our program's logic is correct, then also we will not get the desired output. Okay, that's why we should initialize. Okay, you need to initialize a variable to get the desired output. Okay, so variable initialization is very important. There are two types of initialization: static initialization and dynamic initialization. Static, the permanent fix. If int a equal to 6, it means the value is static fixed. Okay, and dynamic, if int a, then we will get the value of a at the time of displaying result. Okay, here static initialization, first of all, more we will understand about this. This process uses direct assignment of a constant to a defined variable. If variable is defined, suppose int a, okay, equal to 5, it means we have given value of variable a's value 5. That means a defined value, defined constant, integer type constant 5, and our initialization of variable a is 5. That means it is static. Okay, no more explanation about this. I am giving simple way. If you are taking a equal to 5, then it is called static initialization. Okay, but if you are declaring only int a, it means it is static. Okay, a's value will come after writing the program at the time of execution, when we will assign the value, when we will input the value of a, or we will get the calculated result in the a. That is called dynamic initialization. Okay, when a variable gets initialized at runtime, okay, our program, when our program run, that time value get initialized. That is called dynamic initialization. During the execution of program, when we get display of the program, that time that value come, that value is called dynamic initialization. Okay, logic, it is termed as dynamic initialization. Under this situation, a variable is assigned with the outcome of any arithmetical operation or functions. Okay, the table is shown here. Integer, suppose int a, b, c. Okay, 3 numbers are taken, so values are not, constants are not given in a, b and c. Then suppose a equal to b plus c. If a equal to c equal to a plus b, it means at the time of at the run times, we will give the value of a and b, then we will get the value of c. This is called dynamic initialization. Same as float, double string, we can also get. Okay, punctuators, here punctuators are the punctuation sign used as a special character in Java. Here some punctuators are question marks, dots and semicolons. Okay, we will try to understand use of all these 3 things. Okay, first of all, question mark, this is the symbol of question mark. Okay, represent the action to be taken when the given condition is true while using the ternary operator. Okay, as you know, or I will explain you later, use of ternary operator when we will compare two things, either if else statement or ternary operator. We can solve the problem which number is the greatest, who is the taller between two boys. That type of problem we can sort out with the help of ternary operator. If a, here max is a variable, equal to bracket a greater than b. If a is greater than b, question mark, this represents ternary operator. Okay, a colon b. Okay, then a will be greater number. Okay, dot is used to represent the scope of a function belonging or to an object or a class. Here when this is the class type java dot input output asterisk. Okay, this is a package system dot out dot println. Here we are using dot in a statement. So dot we also represent in so many places in the we use in the java. Semicolon java program as a statement terminator. Okay, it means semicolon means it is called terminator. It means end of line. Okay, either if you are giving 2-3 lines at the same time, but in the same single line, but you are giving terminator, it means program will understand it is the end of the line. Int a equal to 5 terminator system dot out dot println a terminator. Here the program will understand int a equal to 5, and this line this means end of the line, and this is system out println statement is written in the next line. In Java program, programming logic says that this is the one line and this is the second line. If you are writing, doesn't matter if you are writing all these things in a single line. Okay, separators we have comma, bracket, curly brackets, square brackets. Okay, these are the separators. So we have lots of use in the program. This thing we use these curly brackets largely in the Java programming. Okay, to separate the logics, classes and functions, we use these curly brackets. Okay, and this small bracket we use in to write a function mostly. Okay, operators are we have three types of operators. We use arithmetical operator, relational operator, and logical operators. Okay, arithmetical operator plus minus, divide, multiplication, etc. whatever is there. Relational operator less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. Logical operators are and, or, not. These are the logical operators. So we will use all these three things also in the programming when we will write the program. Okay, keywords are the reserved words in the compiler. Okay, its meaning is already defined in the compiler. Like throw and class, public, for, system, these things meanings are, these words meanings are already defined in the compiler. We don't, if we will write any variable name, any constant name, any variable name, if we are writing in the program, so it will not accepted. Okay, it will not be accepted. Data types in Java. Okay, now I am explaining you data types of Java. Okay, compiler contains a phase called the storage assignment phase. Okay, this phase allocate memory for different variable used in the program. It also create the structure in the location to store the data efficiently. So when we declare, we write data, so data are stored in the different structures in the memory location. Okay, so first of all we have to understand data type. So first we have two types of data type. Okay, primitive and non-primitive data types, primitive data type and non-primitive data types. So data types we are numeric, primitive data types are numeric. In numeric we have integer and float, and in non-numeric we have characters and booleans. Okay, characters means alphabets and boolean means true or false. Integer means without fraction, any number. Floating means numbers with fractions. non-primitive data types are inherited from the primitives, you can say. Like we create non-primitive data types with the help of primitive data types. For example, if we are creating any class, then we use primitive data type. In characters we use class name, all that. Array and interfaces, all these are the non-primitive data types. Okay, first primitive data types we will understand. Okay, the data type which are independent of any other types, is there is no involvement of any other data type in this primitive data types, okay, are known as primitive data types. So these are also called basic data types. Okay, for example, byte, int, long, float, double, these are the primitive data type. Primitive data types are predefined or built in data type, because the system developers of Java have defined them. So this is written at the times of development of the Java programming. Okay, so programmers, we do not write this. Okay, this is written at the time of developing. Okay, means who developed Java? James Gosling or his colleagues, they might have written, or more developers, they have included these things. So recent programmers are not loading these things. Okay, this is already defined, its meaning is already defined in the compiler, that I have told you already. Okay, this is primitive data types, and we create after that non-primitive data types ourselves, user defined data type, that we will study little later. Okay, so you can declare a variable of the type int which will follow the characteristics mentioned in these types. We have, for example, int x. What is int? Is data type. Primitive data types, integer, and variable x. So one more things I am telling you, students, integer, any number without fraction part is called an integer, and x is a variable which stores constant in the computer memory. When we will declare value of x, suppose 5, then in the computer memory, computer RAM, RAM is called memory. Okay, so value in the x variable, value 5 will be stored. Okay, that's why we declare these things, to store the value in the computer memory. It means variable x follow the characteristic of type int type. Okay, x variable, what kind of variable is this? Int type, integer type variable. Okay, integer type variable, you know very well. Integer type variable, about this more explanation are given here, which I am explaining you. Try to understand this. Variable declared as an integer type contains a whole number. Whole number means pure number without fraction. Okay, it may be positive or negative or zero. The number may be positive, negative number, but without decimal points. Without decimal point. That I am repeating over and again. Okay. 4 types of declaration. We have integer type. Okay, first byte used for bitwise operation. Okay, this byte we use for bitwise operation. Okay, when we count any binary digit, binary number, when we solve binary digit, that types of we use byte types of data type, and this is also belonging to the integer data type. And sort, if you understood, in your program there is no use of the long integer, only short numbers are needed in your program. So if you are then you will use short integer. Okay, short used for small range of integer. For example, census report. Okay, for example, who can cast the vote in the election? If person's age is 18 or more than 18, or more than 19 or 80. So we are seeing, if we are making this program, then we understand we are using only two digits numbers in the program. So we will take short type integer in that type of program. Okay, what the census or casting vote in the election. So who can cast? More than 18 years age, more than 18 years, or more than 90 or 100 years we can take. So only 2-3 digits number we are working with in the program. So that types of program, if you are writing, then you should take short type integer. Okay, int is not short or not very long, in that we can take in approx 32,700 somethings range are given here. Here it is not given. So if you will exceed more than that number, then simple integer value will not work. Okay, use for integer which are more than short integer. Okay, long type used for long integer. Okay, if you have understood that you need a long integer, you are working with very large number of numbers, then you take long integer type data type. Okay, a programmer has to select an appropriate data type according to the need of the program. What is the need of your program? You have to determine first of all. After that, you should select your data types among the given list. Okay. Floating type data types. So student, when you need to store a fractional number, okay, if you are going in mall or in the market and you have to give account, you have to account for what you have expended in the market, okay, to your parent, then what you will do, you are creating program of that. In that case, you have to take the floating type data types. That floating type data types will allow you to calculate the numbers, maybe money, maybe any numbers, any mathematical calculation. In math also we can use this. So program, if you know you are writing floating data types, so you take this fractional numbers. If you are using, then you take float data type. Float, we have two types, different ways to represent the data value. For short numbers of decimal point we will use float, and for long decimal point we will use double. Okay, data and data types. So here small range of decimal values, a small range of data float, a small range of decimal values, we will take float 32 bits. Okay, float m is equal to 34.45. so we will use float here. And if we are having wide range of the decimal values, so double, we have to take double data types, 64 bits double. N is a variable, n equal to constant is given 12.12699385. okay, at all costs, suppose anybody is telling you so don't take this double, instead of double you have to take float. So what you will do, you will round off this. Okay, so here till 2 decimal point if you want to keep, so this 6 is here na, so 1 we will count in 2. Okay, so 3, it will become 3, so 12.13, it will become 12.13. if you want to take it as a float, then you have to round it off. After that you can take float. But wide range of value decimal point if you want to give, then you have to take double data type. Okay, characters, students, I have told you already, alphabets are called characters. Okay, so about this more we are discussing here. A character type variable contains a single character and that will be enclosed with a single quote. Okay, if A is written, so simple A is not entertained as a character. You have to give single quote, single apostrophe on the top of the letter in the both side, that it will be called a single character. Okay, there are 256 ASCII code, American Standard Code for Information Interchange data types are given, out of which only 128 characters are in use. Okay, we have total 256 American Standard Code for Information Interchange, but mostly 128, 0 to 127 that I have discussed already previously. Okay, only 121 characters we use in ASCII code. Okay, so these codes are very important, and now today's computer understands only ASCII code. Why? Because this code is loaded in our computer to translate our English language into computer understandable form. Okay, computer, if you are taking capital A to capital Z, then 65 to 90, small a to small z, 97 to 122 respectively, 0 to 9, 48 to 57, like that. Total 256 numbers are there. If you want to test, then go and open notepad and hold down control alt button, and from numeric key you press the value. Suppose 11 if you will press, then different types of character will display on the notepad. Okay, so you can test that. If you will press 65, then you will see capital A is displaying on the screen. Okay, like that you can check. Java language consider a single character and a set of characters. Set of characters is called a string. Okay, each character is assigned in ASCII code, which is taken into consideration during the Java programming. Okay, here for example data type char, data type variable we have p, and character literals we have m. So how we are seeing this is the character constant, because apostrophe is on the top of the character. It means this is the character constant. Okay, variable p and data type character. Okay, students, variable video is becoming large. Okay, so next I will explain you in the next video. Thank you very much.